All right, so to get started, Jason, can you introduce yourself to the viewers, kind of who you are and what you do with your organization?
Yeah, my name is Jason Julian. I am the founding director of an inner city ministry called Urban K Life. We're located in the inner city of St. Louis, in one of the most difficult, roughest, just historically uh, crime-ridden areas. I don't know what you call it. People call it
Yeah.
at-risk communities, but anyway, uh, and uh, and I run Urban K Life, and Urban K Life is a youth ministry designed focused on teenagers inside of inner city high schools, where we reach out to these students. We get involved in the school itself. We coach sports and help in the buildings with academics and lunchroom and all kinds of stuff. And basically, what we have is a bunch of professional fishermen on staff that go out day after day in these schools and go fishing for young people
Hmm.
and just build relationships. And um, pretty soon we catch these kids in the net, and they fall in love with the love and passion and depth and character of our staff. And the relationships we build, the bell rings and we can't get rid of the kids. They're all over us. And we get a chance to pour into their lives and have them in our living rooms and do life with them. And we've got a lot of sports and activities and other stuff we do with them all the time because they are teenagers
Right.
and they don't want to sit around and just do Bible study. They'd rather jump off a building, but they they want to do life with you, and so we have a lot of fun and activities we do with them too. So we just really pretty much become their big brothers and their big sisters in life, and they pour their whole life into us,
Hmm.
and they feel loved and cared for in an amazing way, and we get to do life with them. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I want to get into a little bit about how you work or the Buddy Fund works with your organization. You talked a lot about the sports aspect of these kids. It's a very important part of their lives. So how has the Buddy Fund provided equipment and just been there to support those kids that you quote unquote get in your fishnet and help out?
Well, the Buddy Bone was incredible for us because I don't even remember initially a few years ago how I got exposed to the Buddy Fund or how they got exposed to us, but I know I got approached. And, at our facility in particular, we've got an outdoor tennis court, four outdoor basketball courts. We got two batting cages. We've got a golf hitting area. We've got, oh, shoot, like foosball and papa shot basketball and sand volleyball. Forgot about that.
Hmm.
And we're getting ready to put an artificial turf football field in, a mini sized field. And so the Buddy Fund is, oh yeah, we got pool tables, ping pong tables. And so the Buddy Fund came along, and these folks were like, hey, we heard about what you do, and here's what we have and what we do. And it was kind of mind boggling because what it did is it saved us a tremendous amount of resources that it would cost us who are trying to pour our resources into these kids. And the Buddy Fund provided us with all types of sports equipment and other equipment that has just enabled us to have those things on hand to do all these activities with kids. So we've got basketballs galore and volleyballs and pool sticks and ping pong paddles, ping pong balls and footballs and baseballs, baseball equipment and
Hmm.
bats and tennis rackets, you name it. And it's just been amazing to help us. It's crazy.
Yeah, so how do you think that, that partnership allows kids to have an equal opportunity to, have a chance to play sports, whether that be at your facility or even just going on into, if they're in high school, giving them a chance to play and be have the skills to play at a high school level or even move on to college. But what are some ways that this partnership kind of guides the kids and the students that you have in your organization?
Well, if you're in an organized football team in high school or organized basketball team, obviously you would have access to a basketball or football. But you know, it's mostly, I would say, recreational for the kids. But then we've got kids that get exposed to and acclimated familiarity with certain sports that they may never have done. And then next thing you know, they tell you like, "Hey, I'm going to go out for uh, such and such sport when I get to high school because I really love tennis or whatever it is. And you begin to say, wow, like just having that equipment and exposing you to that made them want to go out and create that atmosphere, which, when you talk about high school sports, you talk about camaraderie and friendship and lots of different things. So just something is, you would think something as simple as some sports equipment would not do that, but it does help shape kids' lives. And if for nothing else, it's recreational. I mean,
Mm,
every time kids come to K Life, we have the means to throw out a whole bunch of stuff, and you've got kids outside because of our outdoor space playing 3 or 4 different sports at the same time, just having a blast. And if nothing else, it's just building friendships and having fun and creating a safe environment. And these kids don't live in a real safe environment here, or an environment that you can just go out to your little local field or park and just have
right.
a little bit of fun like maybe a suburban kid would. There's always some sense of level of questioning your comfortable uh, presence in certain parks. But when they're at K Life, they've got access to all that. So it's really, really good. It's really cool.
Right. So I want to ask you a little bit more of a personal question. What do you think this experience has taught you? What do you love most about this opportunity that you have to give back for kids? And like, what makes it so special? What makes you want to do this? What drives you to help these kids and get them to, like you said, have an opportunity to be safe and have all this equipment to play sports and have that recreational fun that they sometimes don't have the ability to do. So, what makes this so special?
Well, first of all, it's because somebody did it for me. Somebody poured into my life when I was at my lowest, and I had become very hopeless, and I didn't have any aspirations or dreams for my future, and I experienced that myself, and that's what shaped me into desiring to pour into others. And so I'm not this guy that just had this wonderful plan and went and studied uh, social work in college and decided that he had this big old heart and was going to just make a difference in people's lives. That it happened organically because it happened for me. And then now, to answer your question, I mean, it's the most rewarding thing you can do with your life. I mean, I can. We just talked about it in, we're a ministry. We talked about it during our prayer time this morning. It was crazy that, you know, um, Jesus said, investing yourself in things that moth and rust can destroy and thieves can break in and steal has a very temporal uh, aspect to it. And we drive around in a part of the city here that the buildings are falling down all over the place. And yet, when you get a chance to invest in the hearts of human beings, you, especially folks who have a lot of maybe some hurt or some hopelessness, man, it's the most rewarding thing you can do. Um, to be able to give yourself into the life of somebody else who really needs you is astounding. And what ends up happening for us is these become lifetime friends. I mean, these kids, they become adults. And
Yeah.
when they become adults, they don't forget what Urban K Life has done for them. And I see them all over the place, man. I bump into them at Walmart. I bump into them here. I coached them in high school football, or they're hanging out at K Life every week playing basketball with us. And they just, man, they just hug you and they treat you like you're their father that was there for them when they're going through their toughest time. And so it's rewarding, man. I mean, what else in the world could you do to replace something like this? It's awesome.
Yeah. So how can the viewers? I want to ask you a little bit about how the viewers can help you out. Obviously, the Buddy Fund does a lot, gives sports equipment, and gives an opportunity for these kids to grow and have a good time, a safe time. But what else can viewers do? The ones that are listening, how can they help you? How can they donate? How can they volunteer? But what are some ways that they can help out your organization and help these kids out?
Well, I mean, there's really two different ways. There's financial resources and human resources. So, from a financial standpoint, we can't do anything we do without support because we have to raise all of our resources from scratch, and we are supported solely by individual donors. We have a $500,000 a year budget that supports our staff to be on staff in our facility, but our staff are the largest, most important commodity that we have because they're the ones that are giving them themselves away and their life away for the sake of these young people. And that's easy. It's urbanklife.com. URBANKLIFE.com, urbanklife.com. Anybody could go there and become a one-time supporter, a monthly supporter, whatever. And that's really transformative. But then there's also the human resource aspect where people want to volunteer. They want to get involved in kids' lives. They want to help serve food. They want to come do all kinds of stuff. I mean, we just had, how crazy is this? We just had somebody reach out to us this past year, and they're professional archer guys, and they go bow
Wow.
hunting a lot, and they hunt animals, and they do all kinds of stuff. And they wanted to know if we would ever have any kids interested in something like bow hunting as an outreach and a ministry. And I was like, absolutely. And he was like, really? And I said, yes. I said, they're teenagers, man. You put a bow and an arrow in the hand of a teenage boy, he's going to want to shoot it anywhere. And these kids have never had a bow in their hand in their life. And he came down for, I don't know, 8 or 10 weeks in a row with another guy. And they set up their targets inside the building and shot from very short distances and taught the kids how to hold the bow and shoot the bow. And then they would spread, a little bit further distance, a little bit further distance. And every single time they came down, they did a little devotional Bible study, something having to do with a bow and an arrow and a target and just life, shooting for the right target. And then they took them on a full hunt, stayed the night in the woods. That freaked some of our kids out in tents. Got up the next day and they went on a hunt. And I think they got a couple of rabbits or a squirrel or something. They were trying to get deer, but they just didn't have any show up. But that is only an example of somebody who said, hey, how can I use like a talent that I have to help impact kids?
Hmm.
And those kids love it, man. They want to go bow hunting again. They can't wait for the guy to come back. And so I say that to say there's all kinds of different skills and gifts and talents that people have that would translate over into the lives of young people.
Right.
Um, and they could contact us and say, hey, I really would like to do X, Y, and Z with young people, or I just want to come alongside something you guys already do and help support what you guys do. And like I said, serve food or help at club or, be a supporter on one of our big outreach nights. And we're available, man. We do this every week, and it's going to be people that drive the train of reaching other people. That's for sure.
Yeah. So the last question I have for you, at the end of the day, why is your organization, Urban K Life, and the Buddy Funds partnership so important to the community, especially for allowing kids to grow up, as you mentioned a few times, in a safe environment, provide them with the right skills to move on in life, and really just have fun? So what is your big message to the viewers that this organization and the Buddy Fund are doing for these kids?
Well, I think that it's the combination of the two, like you just mentioned, Urban K Life and the Buddy Fund working together. It's not either or. It's it enables us to, as I mentioned earlier, for kids to have more experiences, just to normalize things. Oftentimes in a more impoverished community or less resources, they just don't get exposed to as many things. And so we get an opportunity when they come. We've got all types of resources now through the Buddy Fund to be able to let the kids experience sports and activities and fun and recreation and creativity that they may not have gotten to experience. And we're just trying to help normalize the fact that they might be kids growing up in a maybe a little bit more difficult community or different set of circumstances, but they're still kids
Yeah.
and they still desire to do something with their life and they still have aspirations and goals, which a lot of times people don't think that inner city kids maybe think like that, or there's um, a wrongful stereotype in their mind about what these kids might want to do. So when we get a chance through the Buddy Fund's help to let these kids experience a bunch of stuff, just see them get to be kids again and smile and laugh, which all of us know, you know, you're helping develop the whole kid, the whole person, to create joy and meaning and purpose in their life. And and it just sparks them on to be a more confident person, feel better about themselves, and feel better about their opportunities. So I've always cherished our relationship with the Buddy Fund, and I know that if we need something, we can just call, say, "Hey, man, we're out of tennis rackets." I guarantee you that would happen overnight, and
Mhm.
so we're very thankful. It's a special relationship. We appreciate it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for giving me the time to interview you. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope that the viewers got an understanding of what your organization does and how the Buddy Fund helps out. As you mentioned, people can go out to your website and help out in any way, whether that be financially or just giving their time and volunteering. Because, as you mentioned, I mean, everyone has their own niche and thing to do. So, if they can help out those kids in any way, I'm sure you would appreciate that. The Buddy Fund would appreciate that. But again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you to the viewers for tuning in. I will be back with you guys next week.